Good evening and welcome to this investor meeting in which we will be presenting the vision, the progress and the future of Joule. My name is Mette Valsted Vestergaard. What is Joule? Joule is this device, this medical device, our next generation defibrillator, which as you can see is significant, not least due to its size, its very handleable size. This also goes for the price of Joule. This defibrillator is designed to be owned and used in private homes by non-medically educated persons. Very significant information. And today we will share with you the medical need and the market opportunity that we see driving the demand for Joule. We'll share with you the history of the company, our progress to date, also within regulatory, and also, of course, very importantly, the investment opportunity positioning Joule as a transformative device in emergency medicine. And I have with me here Christian Walter. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you.
Christian is the founder and CEO of Ono, which is currently the owner of Joule. Let's just start with that, Christian. Let's start with Ono, the owner. What is Ono?
Ono is an 8-year-old company. We are a tech company working with traffic safety devices, something called co-drivers, and parking disc as well. We are a company that has reached a size this year of a revenue around 100 million euros. We are around 120 employees located here in our office that you can see here, where we sit around 120 people, and we have an office in Berlin and one in Oxford as well.
Very impressive, really, in just 8 years. And before we start talking about Joule, let's just tell people that I'm pretty sure that a lot of questions will arise during the talk that we're going to have. And I just wanted to say you can ask your questions. You can do so in the chat, and we'll end with a Q&A for you and some of your colleagues by the end of this session today, which is we'll round off around 9 o'clock. Our time, Copenhagen time,
yes.
That is. Okay, so let's talk about Joule just for a start, because this is quite significant. This is a one-off.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, basically, you could ask, you are a tech company doing traffic safety devices, why are you suddenly making a defibrillator? It's actually coming out from one of my own experiences. I have been a hard runner, that is a Danish term. That is when you call the emergency service, someone is having a cardiac arrest, then they notify normal people here in Denmark that can run out on a mission, picking up a defibrillator and run to the cardiac arrest and help the person. I tried that as well, going around Sunday afternoon back home, cleaning up Lego from my daughter, and then suddenly my phone came up with this emergency message.
So this is a voluntary piece of work that you do, organized by non-governmental organizations in Denmark, but you were in the situation that a person actually had a heart stop.
I was sent out, but it was Sunday, so I was sent out to a defibrillator that was behind a closed door, a locked door, so I had to, on my own initiative, find another one in another place. After this incident, I was frustrated about that I didn't have my own, I didn't have better access to that. I put that into the back of my mind, and then a couple of years later, I had a talk with one of my colleagues about, wouldn't it be nice if we were having a defibrillator that we could sell to all of our customers? So we looked into the market. Was there a small, cheap defibrillator? And very fast we could see that that wasn't possible to find something that was cheap and small or light. It didn't fit like that. So we said to ourselves, let's make our own defibrillator that is small, easy to use and affordable.
And this is it, and there'll be a couple of cords and some pads that you stick on, and very easy to use. We'll get back to that, the technicalities of that, but it has 2 buttons. It's
as simple as it gets.
Easily transferable to anyone, really, not being a medically educated person. What else makes this special? Because it's not just the size.
A defibrillator, as you know, the ones that are hanging out on the walls around the city, is basically made to start with for being used by a person with some medical experience. It's a little bit more difficult to use. You have to understand it, and also there is no owner of the defibrillator. You run as a person, pick it up, and then you have to figure out how to use it. This one, besides being affordable and small, so you can have it everywhere. You can have it in your glove compartment, in your desk drawer, or in your bag. It's also very easy to use because it's made from start as a product that has to be used by normal people that has no experience of using defibrillators. So there's only 2 buttons. It is as easy as it gets to use it, and that is the most important part for this product.
And important question, what's going to be the price of this thing?
It's going to be priced around €1,000.
So just €1,000.
Yeah.
You can actually have this in your drawer, in your own private home, or in your company, at your workplace, whatever.
And when that is set, there will be several business cases where it will be part of a subscription. It could be with insurance companies and what we have had a lot of questions asked to us. So it will be accessible broadly.
And there will be, I mean, the maintenance here is not going to be anything wild. It's batteries and so on and so forth.
Basically, a defibrillator is something that is heavily regulated, so it's not up to us to decide when the batteries has to be changed and the pads. It's something the regulations say. So as any other defibrillator, the batteries has to be changed every 3rd year and the pads every 2nd year. And we are of course going to be doing that affordable as well. When the defibrillator is affordable, the displacement of the battery and pads also have to be affordable.
We'll get back to the investment opportunity here because, of course, that's why we're here in the first place. But let's talk a little bit more about who is behind Joule, the whole team behind this. We've talked about Ono, which is the owner of Joule, but who is it that's behind it, besides from you?
Besides being a tech company with all the capabilities that we have to remember that a defibrillator is a medical device CE class 3 under something called MDR. So you cannot make something like that
this is regulatory
without having
EU
the right
regulations,
team.
right?
That is the regulatory stuff. So you have to have the right team. So we have a team here in-house in Joule Medical of 20 people that are working with both all the design, development, and also all the regulatory stuff. So basically we have excellent people coming from a lot of the known medical companies around Denmark. We are very fortunate that we have a lot of medical devices and company here in Denmark. So it's easy to get really qualified people to help us build this product. So we have that team. We have also other companies that we work together with, and then we have also some experts that are hired in to help with the difficult stuff that gives us the progress that we need to go on the market. And now we are going into the situation where we have to choose where it's going to be produced and all that. So that is the general situation. It's a big team that works really well.
And we're going to meet one of the experts in just a moment, medical expert, of course, because obviously there is a medical expert connected to this whole project. But let's just talk a little bit about how far are you along? I mean, how far are you from going to market with us?
Yeah, basically we are in the situation where the defibrillator, as you can see it now, it's a mock-up, this one, but it's basically done. We have basically done the development of the device, and we are very shortly going into production, and then you can think, wow, then you are entering the market in a short while. Unfortunately, because it's a medical device, we have to go through some testing and also approval. And we're going into that, but we have to have the finished device before we can do that. Right. So we are just around the corner. So basically, within not much more than 3-4 months, then we'll be sitting with the real device Not approved yet, but the real device next to us.
Right, right, yeah. This being a mock-up, you're right about that.
Yeah.
I should have probably mentioned that. And then, how far off are we then?
Then we are looking into a perspective of around 2 years with our testing and the approval. So we are looking into entering the market around mid-27.
Because this device, although it's going to be situated for most parts in private homes or private workplaces, has to live up to the standards of any other defibrillator, which is the highest standard that there is for a medical device, right?
Yeah, you could say that it's both nice and also a little bit irritating sometimes because you're working in a very difficult environment with the regulations. But it's also something that is not open to everybody because it's as you say, it's heavily regulated. So and that takes time and cost money and needs expertise to make that happen.
So compliance is of course
but,
first.
But I can mention that, for instance, we are a little bit lucky actually, because the regulations that we are under is something called MDR. And MDR is something that is new in Europe, and defibrillators that are not made in MDR have to stop selling them in the 31st of December 27.
Oh.
So if you are not MDR approved by that date, then you are out of the market, and that is basically when we enter the market. So we are.
So you got a head start, so to speak.
Yeah, all the others, they have to redo a lot of their stuff to actually be approved. But we were born in MDR, and that's a lucky thing for us.
Right, so you don't have an old one that you have to start over with. Right. Okay, I think it's let's get Mads Gregersen here, the medical expert that is working on the project along with the rest of the team. Come and have a seat.
Thanks.
Mads, MD, PhD in anesthesiology. Who plays the role as the expert on this project. What does that mean? What kind of role is it that you have?
Yeah, well, I've been affiliated with the project for around 4 years as a medical expert and a medical advisor. So my task is to guide Joule in the right direction with respect to all medical fields. So we are aligned with all the relevant regulatives and the relevant medical things.
And you're also overseeing that it actually works the way it's supposed to work.
Yes, yes. So.
Right. So, and can you just talk a little bit more to us about why is it so important to have a defibrillator nearby? I mean, cardiac arrest, obviously, very serious. The heart stopped beating.
Yeah.
But why is it so important that it's right at hand?
Well, cardiac arrest is kind of a end-stage disease, you could say, and we know that early defibrillation is probably the most significant factor for good neurological survival. So if we want the patients to survive, we need to defibrillate them at least prior to the arrival of the ambulance. Right. In Denmark, we have had a tradition for the past 20 years with resuscitation science, and in the early days, the survival rate was quite low, and it still is quite low, around 10 to 13, 14%. But we know that in some settings, we can see a survival rate up to 70% if a shock is initiated at an early point in time. And we have done several studies also here in Denmark showing that up to 100% of patients with a shockable rhythm can actually survive their out-of-hospital cardiac arrest if they're defibrillated within the first 1, 2, 3 minutes from their cardiac arrest. And that's why it's crucial to have an defibrillator nearby.
Yeah, right.
We've seen a lot of data also pointing towards that if the distance to the nearest AED exceeds 200 meters, it's basically not going to be used.
So basically, people don't start running away from a person lying there with cardiac arrest if it's way off.
No, exactly.
Just, I mean,
yeah, you could say, if I can interfere, if you have 70% of all cardiac arrest happens in a home, you're probably often a couple of persons,
Yeah.
and one is doing have to do CPR, who is going to run for the defibrillator.
And you're not going to leave that person.
No,
are you?
because if you stop doing CPR, then you stop the circulation, and then the survival rate is even lower.
And this is important too, because CPR is not sufficient, is it? I mean, you have to get the shock on them.
Yes, and at an early stage. So the sooner the better, actually.
So survival rate is better, but also the causes that can, the neurological problems.
Yeah, and I guess that's the most important thing. You want to have a good neurological outcome when you survive the cardiac
Something
arrest.
that actually surprised me is that now we have been talking to a lot of people about cardiac arrest. People generally think that CPR can make people alive again, but it can't.
No, it can prolong the period where the defibrillator can be efficient and be used. So it's very important to start CPR,
you need the shock.
but you still need the shock to revive
So this
the
is
patient.
because this is only the mechanics of the beating heart that you're replacing with the CPR. But if you want the heart to take over its own rhythm, it the nerve system has to be reset, so to speak. Is that the way to put it?
Yeah.
All right. So now we heard about your experience with an AED, and that this was behind a locked door.
Yeah.
So that, of course, is no use. But in what other ways do you see the existing ones as insufficient compared to this one?
Yeah, but you can say that the narrative is that long time ago it was impossible to survive a cardiac arrest because there was no AEDs. Now we can run after an AED, but it's still not good enough. The survival rate has stagnated.
As you said, they're too far off. To be.
So the narrative that we're going into now is that a defibrillator is something that you reach for. It's something that you have. So we want to change the whole narrative about a defibrillator. So being in the situation that if you need one, you shout up and then in the end someone has
you
it.
reach for it, you don't run for it. Right. Have a glass of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Mads, could you try to explain, if you pick it up, as we said, this is the mock-up of it, and it needs its pads and its cords. But can you just explain? I mean, how do you use it? Can anybody just take it up and use it?
Anybody can just take it up and use it. It's very intuitive to use, and there's basically only two buttons that you need to know about. And the first one is the turn on button, and the other one is the shock button. And that will light up, and there will be a voice guidance telling you when to use to push the button.
So you do have the voice guiding you so that you know exactly what to do.
Exactly. What to
Can you do something wrong with this thing?
You cannot do anything wrong with this thing.
No.
So it's so intuitive, and it's really a life-saving device.
You're not going to do anything bad with it.
No.
I mean, you can only save a life.
You can't harm anyone with this device. No.
If you, for instance, you are fainted and you put them on, then you cannot push the shock button.
No, the defibrillator needs a shockable rhythm to be present before it suggests you to shock the patient.
What is a shockable rhythm?
Well, a shockable rhythm is a different type. There's basically two different types of shockable rhythm, which can be present in out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. And it's two not normal heart rhythms. So you and I cannot have that heart rhythm and be awake and be well. So it's only present.
So if you put this on me now, it will not start guiding you towards giving me a shock because my heart is hopefully
it's functioning
working
normal.
fine.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me a little bit more about it, like just the physically. I mean, how much does it weigh? The end product, how much does it weigh, and where do you put it? Where do you keep it? What's the thought of that?
Yeah, it's weighing around half a kilo, and as you can see, it is not much bigger than the one that you use for your sunglasses.
Just look a little bit like a nice sunglass case.
Yeah. And it's meant for that it can be everywhere. Let's say that you are in a situation where normal people will not walk around with it. But let's say you are working in a Joule and you are one of the guards going around. You can easily have this in your belt. It can easily fit in your glove compartment.
In the car?
It can easily fit in your desk drawer. It can easily fit in your bag. It can be on your boat. It can be in your summer house. It can be in your hiking bag. It's basically something that is easy for you to transport.
Right.
It can be where you are, basically.
Yeah. And of course, it's made so it's water resistant. I can't actually remember what it's called, IP something, that if you splash water on it, it's no problem. So if you are outside and it rains a little bit, then it's not a problem.
Right. And as for maintenance, it runs on batteries, of course. And as for maintenance, I mean, what does it take to keep it? Because it's going to be sitting in a drawer, hopefully not being used too often. What does it take to maintain it?
You could say that when, as I mentioned before, a defibrillator hanging on a wall is not anybody's.
No.
If you buy this one, then it's yours. And then you will have a onboarding of the product when you buy it.
Oh.
So you will have an app that will tell you when it's time to replace the batteries.
Right.
Then it will pop up, probably with a solution from where you can buy the batteries or the pads. And then you receive a set of new batteries that is just something that you take out, as you know. It's actually, you don't replace the batteries manual. You just take out the block, and then you get a new one. Then you put it in. You can't do anything wrong. Right. And you can take the pads and also just put a new set of pads on with this one. What's this thing called?
Yeah, the connection. Yeah.
The connector. Yeah, the connector. You can just put a new connector in, and then the pads is replaced.
Right.
So it's very easy. You can do it by yourself.
Right. And are these parts going to be expensive?
No, because I'm actually a little bit irritated about some of the defibrillators that are out there right now. They are both expensive, but they are also very expensive to maintain.
The service is expensive.
Yeah, they are
so
making
that's the
service agreement. Yeah, some of the business model is actually that it's expensive. We want the parts to be affordable.
Right. So
Of course,
so you actually keep it up.
Yeah, because otherwise people will not maintain it, and then it will not be used, and then it's no good. So it has to be something that the person who bought it actually find that it's not a shocking experience when they have to replace the batteries or the pads.
So speaking about business models, then what is yours? I mean, what, the people that we're talking to today are hopefully new investors. So what's your plan on that? I mean, how are you going to make money out of this thing?
Maybe you can compare it a little bit with some of the other electronics that you have in your house. Today, maybe most people buy their television, but we can maybe have go back a few years where you could buy your television, you could pay it off, you could lease it, you could do a lot of stuff. Telephones, you could also make subscription with all kind of this and that with the subscription. It has to be a product that is available in a lot of different kind of ways. Right. So it has to be something that you can buy if you just want to buy it. Maybe you have an alarm company that says for 199 kroner extra a month, then you can also have this one.
We'll add this to your package, right?
Maybe your health insurance can do it. Maybe maybe when you buy your company car, then they will be fitted with a defibrillator. It has to be a lot of different business models, so there will be a lot of selling points for the products, so you meet it a lot of places. So whatever fits you as a customer, we have a business model for that.
We'll continue with this topic in a second, but just before we let you go, Mads, just on the MDR regulation that you're overseeing, because this is part of what's making this a challenge, a good one. What are the criteria that this device has to live up to, if you want to frame it in a language that we can all understand?
Yeah. Christian has touched upon the subject, but basically
very high standards.
Yeah, there's very high standards to class 3 products, medical devices.
Because they are what you have in the operating room, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's life-saving equipment, so there needs to be a lot of different standards that we need to follow in order to gain the CE marks. And Christian talked a bit about all the studies that we need to perform before we obtain the CE mark. And there's also extensive criteria for post-market follow-up studies. So we'll be sure to make some good follow-ups in order to prove that it actually does what we think it does or know that it does. Yeah,
so
and
that compliance is, of course, something extremely important for the innovation and development of a device like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can see I have my iPad here for that I'm going to use for our Q&A session that's coming up shortly, and I can see that lots of questions are pouring in. So keep them coming. We will take them in just about 10-15 minutes. We'll start the Q&A session and try to answer all your questions. And if we don't have time to do them all, we will answer them later on. And Mads will also be available for answering the questions on the chat later on if we don't get around to it tonight. So thank you, Mads, for joining us and telling us about this dimension of Joule. Christian, let's talk more about the whole investment opportunity.
Yeah.
So just tell us the larger story here. Why are you inviting new investors in at this time?
Yeah, maybe some people ask the question, Christian, you are saying that you're sitting in a company with a revenue of 100 million euros and we have a EBITDA of around 10, 11, 12 million euros a year as well. We have been funding basically most of everything up until now. Ono has been funding around 10 million euros. We have had some investors. We had some funding from IFO, the Danish Governmental Growth Foundation, and the Innovation Foundation in Denmark as well. Ono is now a company with a size where we also have to look into other business areas because we are now one of the leading companies in our business in Europe.
Right.
So we have to be prepared for whatever it takes to continue the growth in that market. So we cannot use the same money twice.
No.
So now we have been funding Joule up until now. Now we want help to fund the rest so Ono can go into other areas, because some of you out there as actually investors in Ono are also kind of expecting that we keep delivering growth in Ono and not only funding Joule.
Yeah, and we want to encourage you, if you are already an investor, do write it to us, and that will be nice and interesting for us to know. How are you guys? I mean, you're going on your own journey now with Ono, but you're not entirely leaving Joule.
No. Of course I'm not. I really love this project, and I can easily say that everybody in Ono, they love the project. We're sitting in the same office, so it will be a sister company. So of course we're not leaving. We are going to help. We are going to make different kind of partnerships, but partnerships and work is not the same as funding.
Yeah.
So the funding, the cash, this is what it's all about.
Right.
We will still be accessible for helping the business and also making a lot of the plans and marketing things that we're doing. We are going to be a part of that as well.
Right. And you'll keep ownership of a part of.
Right now we are owning around 85% of Joule Medical, and we think that we will bring that ownership down to something between 55 and 60%.
Okay. So keeping the influence. So, what if I wanted to invest in Joule now? What do I need to do?
We are right now live on Crowdcube, which is a UK-based equity crowdfunding platform where you basically go in and buy shares as. You can compare it if you are listed on a stock exchange. It's not tradable in the same way, but you can basically go in and then you can buy shares. And I can tell you that more than 500 has already done that. And I can also mention that it's not a new thing for us to raise money on Crowdcube. Ono was actually in a situation in 2020 where we raised money on Crowdcube. Actually,
quite successfully, right?
Yeah, and to the same valuation as we are in now, and we actually last year, 4 years after people invested, we bought out investors at double the price, so they made 100% profit over 4 years. So that's basically what we're trying to copy and do once again, make money for the investors.
And let's talk a little bit about those horizons as well. I mean, you've already said that in 2 years' time, the product is ready to go to market, and then what?
Yeah.
Seen from the investor point of view, that is.
Yeah, one thing that is really important for me to clarify is that we are not dreaming of making a small company selling a couple of thousands defibrillators a year. We are a company with a certain size, and that mindset is something that we are going to do again with Joule Medical. We want to make a significant medical device company in Denmark with revenues in the high 100 million Danish kroner.
Wow.
We want to do the same once again as we did with Ono. And that is what we want people to be a part of.
So potential investors can expect what if everything goes according to plan?
Yeah, everybody knows that I cannot sit and promise stuff.
No.
But we made double in 4 years in Ono, and I'm not aiming to do worse in Joule. I'm aiming for that we're going to make a company where people are looking back and saying this was one of the investments where we did some certain good numbers X. So we wanna build a fast-growing company that is based out of Denmark and then going out to the entire Europe and in the future the rest of the world with our product. And grow to a size that people can kind of do the math themselves. If you're selling 100,000 units of these or more, and you can say it's 1,000 euros a piece, then you can do the math and say that's high numbers.
And the number that, I mean, the amount that you're trying to raise now is
5 million euros. That is around 37 million Danish kroner, and we are well on the path. We actually already raised some money before Crowdcube, and had investors and also IFO that did match funding.
As you mentioned,
yeah. So we're pretty sure that we will reach the number of 5 million.
That the 5 million is going to be insured. And on the course of, the 2 years before going to market and the marketing, following up and so on and so forth, how is that money going to be spent?
I think that the round that we're doing now is getting ready to enter the market.
Right.
Remember that having a partnership with Ono means that you have Joule Medical, you have access to millions of customers that Ono can reach out to. So marketing in this picture, expenses of that is kind of good to be a part of the family because you have access to a lot of customers being a part of the Ono family.
Very good point. Okay, I think we're ready to take questions, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think we should.
I can see there's a lot.
There's a lot of questions, fortunately. I think we should get started on that. But I think we should call in Jakob Christensen, who's a co-founder of Joule, who's also the CEO. Welcome, Jakob.
Thank you.
Good to see you here. There are. You've been listening.
You've
been listening in. I know because
exactly.
you've been standing right behind the camera, so you know exactly what we've been talking about. Let's just start from the top and take the questions as we go. So Mikkel is asking, is it a crowdfunding campaign or do I get shares?
Yeah, there are 4 types of crowdfunding. One is what people know as a Kickstarter campaign or Indiegogo, where they put some money and then they buy a device. This is an equity crowdfunding campaign. This means you buy shares in the company. You become a co-owner of the company. So it's not about the products. You will probably get access to buying them at a good price later, but it's not about that now. Now it's about buying shares in the company and becoming a co-owner. Like if you buy shares in Novo or whatever company on Copenhagen Stock Exchange.
So Jakob, Emma is asking, we were talking right before about how again, this is the mock-up, but how heavy is it? Around half a kilo or so. But somebody's asking, can I have it in my bag, or is there any legal stuff that I should be aware of? Is there any legal stuff concerned?
No, you can have it in your bag and you can take it on any trip that you're going for. So it's one of the benefits of this is that it's so small, so you can actually bring it wherever you go. Right. So that's what we're aiming for.
Right. Okay, Anders, what What are the markets that you're aiming for? Important question. I mean, and how are you going to reach those markets? You touched on that a little bit with the Ono answer, but what are the markets that you're aiming for at first?
You can say that a CE approval, that's a European thing. So a CE approval opens the door to the European market.
Right.
When you do an AAD, then you are required to put in some languages, so it talks to you in a language that you choose. So we have a focus of 6 countries to start with. That is the big countries in Europe.
So it speaks in German, French, Spanish.
UK, Spanish, and of course Denmark, because that's where we're from.
Yeah.
But it will have several languages that you can use.
Yeah, and if you need to go outside Europe, then you, for instance, if it's United States, you need an FDA approval. That's in the future. Why not? Of course, we are thinking about that we have to go outside Europe, but we start with Europe with our CE approval.
And we often talk about how Europe is very heavily regulated. FDA also is quite heavily, but you are already aiming for that or having that in mind.
Yes, you have been talking about the MDR, and it is heavy regulated.
Right.
And US is kind of the same, but if when we have the MDR, we are well suited to go to the US and have the FDA approval as well.
That's clever.
Yeah, some of the matter with the MDR is that that it's the new regulations that are actually more on par with FDA, so it's easier to transfer your European CE mark to an FDA than it was before. There was a distance between that. So it's actually easier for us than ever.
Okay, more questions about the details on the actual device. Stephen is asking, what energy is delivered in a shock?
It's a very good question.
Yeah?
And I have to say I'm maybe a little sweaty because I've been answering all of these questions and it was really good and thank you for that.
Thank you.
But the energy level is really crucial. We are shocking with 150 Joule. And that is what, now you saw Mass before, that's part of what Mass has advised us to do, because this is what is proven in studies that this is exactly enough to revive a heart.
Pick up a heartbeat that's sustainable and that will get the heart into the rhythm it's supposed to.
So 150 Joule, that's what we do.
Jens is asking whether the electrodes in the white box or on the AED. I mean, where are the electrodes at?
The electrodes will be in the so-called white box that we are talking about.
That it's coming with.
So you will have it all in a neat package, so you can again bring it wherever you want to go, and the box will protect it, make sure that it's not getting dirty or wet or what have you. But it's still a small box.
Right.
So
can you keep it assembled, or do you have to just plug it in?
No, it will come fully assembled, and you can keep it assembled in the box.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. And actually, another thing about the box is that the box has been designed so it's small and nice to look at, so you will not be embarrassed about putting on your wall in your kitchen, because having an AED that you would take down from a building out there in a big green box, you would not hang that up in your living room or something. This will be a small, nice,
much more
clean, discreet Nordic design casing.
Right. Well, I don't know if there's anything embarrassing about having an AED, but you're right. It's more discreet maybe than the big green ones that we have here in Denmark at least. The battery life. Somebody's asking about that. What is the battery life, and what happens when it dies? I mean, is it like a fire alarm? Does it? Make noise,
the battery will have approximately 5 years.
Yeah.
And when it starts sort of being low on battery, Joule will start to make noises, just like a smoke alarm, like you were saying. So you're well ahead of the battery change, then you will be alerted, so you can actually buy a new battery and put it in.
And these are regular batteries that you can get it sent off, but you can also...
You will buy it from us because this is a special battery, but like we were talking about before,
because it has to perform the 150 Joule.
No, that's actually, can I correct a little bit? It's not because you could basically go out and buy the batteries, but you are not allowed to put the batteries in because you can
misplace it.
misplace them.
Yeah.
So it's coming in a casing that you just put in because you are not allowed to do it, so people can do it wrong.
So this is actually regulation and
Yes.
compliance. It's
Safety
not
and-
because it
No.
can't be done
It's
like
not a decision of
engineer-wise.
ours.
No,
It's
regulatory.
it is.
Yeah, because you have to know that this works when it. when you
It's
think it
it's a
works.
choice from our side also to make it as safe as possible
Yeah.
for you to use this and also change the battery yourself.
Somebody's asking how many shocks there would be per battery. Now we say 5 years, but if you use it often,
Yeah, but
hopefully
when
not
you
then.
use it, there will be up to 20 shocks when you use it. We're just talking to Mads backstage here, and Mads also says that this is very seldom that you use up to 20 shocks.
Hopefully,
Exactly.
hopefully very seldom, but
But when the question is asked, then people have to remember that it's in a scenario with one person having a cardiac arrest where you can give up to 20 shocks. It's not like that you use an AED and then put it up on the wall afterwards. An AED has to be sent in and emptied out for data, for science. So it's a kind of a one-time use.
Yeah.
We will come up with a program where if it has been used, then we will replace it.
Yeah.
But basically, it's for one cardiac arrest,
Right.
and it's sent in,
and
then
it's being sent back because this is regulation
Because then it's
as
going to
well.
be checked and it's going to be
course.
fixed, and in that situation, it will be able to give up to 20 shocks. Just to get back to the question,
All right.
Okay.
I'm getting the feeling that there are a few doctors among the people participating in this Q&A. How many pulses will I be able to deliver in an emergency? And this is basically
It's
the
still-
same question,
same question, yes.
20, up to 20. And
Yes.
this is basically the relevant question as well, because as you said, you're not going to just hang it back on the wall and then use it again.
Yes.
It will be replaced. Okay. Have you had any input from cardiac arrest survivors? Very interesting question.
Yeah, it's a good question because when we started this project up, we actually did a lot of interviews with people that had been in situations where they had to use an AED, but we have also talked to people that have sort of
That have received the treatment.
Yes, and we are both Christian and I. We have been part of the Danish Heart Runner program, so we read all the stories as well.
Yeah.
I have a small story about this about getting feedback, because when you do defibrillators, you can get access to a file of all the defibrillators that has been in use. Then they read out the data and they put it in a big file. And then you can see what happened. A lot of different data from every cardiac arrest. And one thing that we were surprised, there has been some cases where someone turned on an AED, it was ready for a shock because there was a person lying there, and then when they should deliver the shock and push the button, then they shut down the defibrillator.
Oh.
That's a tough. That's a tough one. That's a bad way to die. So that's for instance, we made a decision that when we turn on the defibrillator, then it's not possible to turn it off again within a certain time. So you cannot do it incorrectly.
Accidentally.
Yeah, you cannot
push a
accidentally
button and
turn it off. You can only shock. The other button doesn't work for a period of time.
So it sounds like a lot of, you can say, UX having been involved in the innovation process.
And that is
here.
so important. We're doing an AED that should be able to be used by ordinary people, so it cannot be difficult.
So
it must be simple to use.
Yeah, the expectations to the UX effort is
Very high.
higher, really, than if it were
Maybe
made for professionals.
Maybe a small one for the audience. Maybe you hear us both say defibrillator and AED. That's basically the
Same thing.
Yeah, in Danish we call it a hjertestarter, heart starter.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah, they're synonyms, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take the next question. Lots of them pouring in still, and we have time, so keep them coming.
So nice. Thanks for the questions.
It is. I imagine it's nice to have people asking about your.
Yes, exactly. This is a baby of ours, so it's really nice to see all the attention.
Lavro is already being optimistic. He's saying, when can we expect Joule in a stock market? That's a different way of getting in capital. Is this part of the plan or the ambition?
I would say that now I'm a long life entrepreneur, and one thing an entrepreneur likes, especially in a situation and the level where we are, that is being able to have an impact and do stuff very quickly. When you go public, then you are subject for a lot of scrutination and corporate governance and compliance and so on.
Compliance doesn't get any smaller by that.
So let me say it like this. We have to remember, we are going to run a business.
Yes.
And one of the important part of running a business is making money and making profit for the investors. If we out in the future see a situation where it makes sense to go on the stock market in the future, then of course we'll do that. Maybe someone is going to buy us. We want to make money both for all the people that are investing and of course also for ourselves that has been investing in this. So I would go over and be a little bit cynical and say this is a money game when we come to that. We want to save life and we want to run a business, and we're going to run the business in a manner where we are good investments, but we also want to run a company where we are
in a sustainable and profitable way.
Of course.
We want to be we want to save life. We are looking forward. Actually, when we are talking about this, I don't want to lie. Of course, we're looking forward to a lot of stuff with this, but the thing that keeps coming up that we're looking forward to, that sometimes we talk about, imagine the day where we're sitting in the canteen having lunch and then someone comes and say, have you heard? We have just got a call. The first person has been surviving a heart attack because of Joule. That day, we are looking so much forward to that day. That is one of our biggest milestones, saving the first life.
But that's what we call purpose, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, you wouldn't do this if you didn't have that purpose. Then there's other ways to make money.
Anas is asking about the competitive landscape. Very interesting. We did talk a little bit about it. You've been looking around. They're very big. They're very expensive. But tell us a little bit more about the competition. Tell us a little bit more about. Are you the first ones to work on a small size, privately handled one?
I think actually we have of course done our homework, looking at all the existing AEDs and learned from them. But we also see kind of like a wave towards at least an interest for smaller AEDs. And we have seen some have been trying and not made it, and some are on the way as well. But we think this is all part of a new trend, a new need. So we do believe that there will be others eventually out there, but we think we are going to be some of the ones breaking that deadlock that the traditional competition.
And we did touch on the head start that you're getting on the regulation with the new regulation.
Yeah, because something that we saw was that some of our competitors that started up making a small AED, they were actually born in the MDD environment. So they were working with the MDD approval, and then suddenly it changed to MDR, and then everything changes, and then some of them, they ran out of money.
Right.
So right now it looks like, we don't know everything, but it looks like that we are the one that is ahead.
You're ahead right now. So that is one of your unique value propositions, which you also asked about.
Yes, it is, but you also have to remember that we are not naive. We are not looking into a market where we will be alone forever, because you can maybe compare it a little bit with some years ago. If you needed to have your blood pressure taken, then you had to go to the doctor. Today you can go to the pharmacy and buy a blood pressure gauge for 200-300 kroner. So it's for everybody. So maybe in the future a defibrillator will not be hanging on a wall or only be in an ambulance. That's something that is natural everywhere.
It will be a natural part of everybody's home.
Of course, yeah.
And it will probably also go down in price over the years.
Yeah, probably. Okay, Lavro again is asking, will there be some kind of user subscription for batteries and other parts of the device? We've already answered that really. Yes, there will, because they have to buy this pack in which the battery is, not because you couldn't use a regular battery, but because regulation is not does not allow.
And as I think Christian addressed it earlier, that we will make setups that makes it easy for you and affordable still.
And we can't have a situation where a battery is placed a little bit crooked or wrongly in any way so that it won't work. That's not.
I've looked at some comments on some of our campaigns on, for instance, Facebook. People were afraid of that we were just selling a cheap device and then we took a lot of money for replacing batteries and so we are not going to do that.
No.
It doesn't fit it doesn't fit the product that is accessible, and then we make it unaccessible to continue the use of it. Doesn't make sense. Of course, we're going to make batteries and pads accessible.
And speaking of that, when it has been used, that whole process that starts there, because it will be replaced. The whole device is going to be replaced, and as we talked about, and that too will be part of the service that you provide.
We're working on different setups on how to return it, but also how to get it back or get a new one back.
Yeah, we can't promise that this will happen, but we're dreaming about that we are not having a situation where someone is having a cardiac arrest and people are standing and saying, yeah, I paid 1,000 euros for my AED, I'm not going to use it, maybe he is. So we want to kind of make a setup where if you use your AED, then it doesn't harm your economy. Then we are going to replace it in some kind of a program. We haven't thought it through yet, but that's something that is on the table.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
Anders wants to know about the market entry barriers that you see. We've already touched on the regulatory. Anything else you want to mention?
I have to say, because we work with this every day, MDR is really, really difficult. Yeah. And I have to say it must be, because this is a medical device. But this is what we spend a lot of time on. And I think when we get the MDR approval, I won't say that there are no more barriers out there, but then we are well situated
ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have to remember that we are a company, Ono is a company with a 95% export revenue. So we are used to doing online marketing for selling millions of devices every year. So you are as an investor, you are in family with Ono, and we want to do whatever is possible for us to help Joule Medical to sell as many devices as possible. We have a marketing machine that is well-oiled and that works and has a proven track record. And we're bringing that into the game.
Right. Very important to remember that. Axel wants to know when you expect to reach the CE certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We expect to reach it in 27. Yeah. So we are applying in 27, and we expect to get it in 27.
All right.
So then we will be ready to go.
I think we're getting to the end of the list of questions that we have, but that doesn't mean that you can't keep asking questions. Please do so. We will be ready on the chat and ready to answer all your questions. Mess is also still here, our medical expert. So he'll also be able to add to that, and so will you guys. So if there's anything that comes up after we shut down in a short while, don't hesitate. Just write your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. So let's just wrap up. What do you do if you're sitting out there now and you're thinking, that sounds like a very good opportunity, I want to be part of that? Can you say again, what do you do then?
Yeah, you go into the UK website, crowdcube.eu.
Crowdcube.eu.
Yeah, and in there you will easily find Joule Medical, because it's currently the most founded project.
So you seek out Joule Medical. And
Actually, you don't have to because it's the
it's
most
right there.
founded
Right there in
project.
front of you.
It's,
Yeah, yeah,
it's in the top. So and then you click on that, and then you follow a procedure in there.
Yes.
Where you have to, of course, put in some payment information, a little bit of information about yourself, which you normally do when you do investments, and then they ask you a couple of questions. If you are fit to be an investor, it's by law. It would be the same in Denmark. The reason, by the way, that we're using Crowdcube is that we don't have a platform, unfortunately, in Denmark because equity crowdfunding was actually not allowed until a year ago in Denmark. It just changed, but the platform hasn't come out yet for real. So it's commonly used that it's common that you use platforms in UK, Germany, and actually also Finland. So you go in, then you choose how much you want to invest.
And what's the lowest amount? I mean, can anyone participate in this?
Yeah, the lowest amount is 100 euros. I can say that the average is above 1,000 euros.
Yeah.
It is.
Today we had a couple of investors investing 200,000 Danish kroner in there. We are almost reaching 1 million euros now. And then there will be a process where they claim your investment, and then you will get your shares within, I'd say, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Then you get your shares. And then what we do after you become a shareholder in Joule Medical is that we will keep you up to speed with the development here in Joule. Some of you are maybe already investors in Ono, where I think we have around 1,500 now. So some were sold out, bought out a year ago, so maybe it's 1,100 or something now. You're used to getting updates once every quarter about the progress, numbers, so on. We will do the same, or Jakob will do the same in Joule Medical.
Yeah.
We have tried actually that people that say they came from outside Denmark, that then were visiting in Copenhagen for holiday, and then they ask us, is it okay I come by and have a look? And then we did that. No, yeah, of course, come by and have a look. People are welcome to do that.
The owners of the company are welcome
Definitely,
to come by.
Welcome every day, yeah.
You may want to call first, though. All right. Well, anything to add before we thank these people for watching and
I just want to say thank you for all the interest and all the questions. It's really
Very
nice.
good questions.
We're working
Very
so hard on this, so it's really nice to see all the good questions.
Yeah, that's
out
one
there.
of the best things in the world when you work so hard on something to feel that interest and the engagement that comes from the questions.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anything final to add, Christian?
I'll just say that we will promise that we will do our utmost to make a great result. And I hope that you can take a look at Ono and see that we did it there. So we are aiming to do the same and be a really good company to invest in. Do a really good job. That is what we're aiming for. We're used to having a lot of stakeholders that we have to service.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I wish you guys all the best as well. Thank you so much for hanging on and for all your questions. I'm Mette Vestergaard, and thank you. Have a nice evening.